All right, we have example number 4, and we have this quadratic function here, negative x squared plus 4x minus 1. First step is to write it in standard form, but it's already in standard form. So identify our a, b, and c. Our a is negative 1, our b is positive 4, and our c is negative 1. Alright, now we're going to find our vertex, or the x-coordinate of our vertex, and it follows this formula, negative b over 2a. So negative b is negative 4 over 2 times a, so it's 2 times negative 1. So it's negative 4 over negative 2. And negative divided by a negative is positive, and 2 goes into 4 2 times, so it's positive 2. We're going to use that as our vertex. The x-coordinate of our vertex, and 1 unit to the left of 2 is going to be 1, and 1 unit to the left of 1 is going to be 0. 1 unit to the right of 2 is going to be 3, and 1 unit to the right of 3 is going to be 4. So those are going to be the x values we're going to use on our table. Right? And so let's go ahead and write our equation down here. Y is equal to negative x squared minus 4x minus 1. Alright. So 0 times 0 is 0, and a negative 0 is still 0. Minus 4 times 0 is 0. So with, for x is equal to 0, our y is going to equal to negative 1. Alright, not many calculations needed there. So for this one, let's go ahead and plug in, right? So we have 1 for our x. It's going to be negative 1 squared. Actually, it's squared like that, right? So first the square happens, then the negative kicks in. And then we have minus 4 times 1, minus 1. So 1 squared is 1, and then negative would be negative 1. Minus negative 4 times positive 1 is negative 4, minus 1. So this is going to be... since they're all the same sign, we need to add and keep the sign. So it's going to be 1 plus 4 is 5, plus 1 is 6. So it's going to be 6, and we're going to keep the sign negative. All right. So what about 2? Well, for 2, it's negative 2 squared minus 4 times 2 minus 1. So this is 4, but it's negative, so it's going to be negative 4. Here's negative 8 minus 1. Again, all the signs are the same, so we are going to add and keep the sign. It's going to be negative 13. For 3 and 4, since this is a symmetrical table, we can simply just use the same values. We don't even need to calculate. So that's going to be negative 6 and negative 1. Right? All right. So we can go and start plotting our points. So we have 0, negative 1. That's right here. 1, negative 6 is here. Ooh, do I even have enough graph? So here we have 2, negative 13. I'm going to guesstimate it to be right down here. And then we have 3, negative 6 is here. And then we have 4, negative 1 is there. So here's a very V-shaped parabola. So let's come on down like this, very steeply. Do our curve there. And open outward. All right. Okay, so what's the domain? Well, the domain, so all real numbers, right? It's going opening up that way, so it's going off to negative infinity. It's going off to positive infinity on the x-axis. So I'm going to say all real numbers. And then what's the range? Well, the range are all numbers greater than negative 13, since negative 13 is our minimum, right? So I'm going to say all y such that y is greater than or equal to negative 13.